Tonight, if you wanted to, you could turn off every light in your house, sit in the dark, and feel something your ancestors knew better than almost anything else. Not silence, not peace, firelight. That orange flicker moving across faces, the sound of wood cracking, the strange way people talk differently when the world around them disappears and all that's left is a circle of light. For ancient humans, that circle was not just a place to stay warm, it was the center of life itself. And if you want to understand what they did for all those long hours around a campfire, the answer is bigger than telling stories or passing time. Around a fire is where humans learned how to become human. Most people imagine ancient campfires the wrong way. They picture a group of cave people sitting around doing almost nothing, maybe grunting, maybe staring into the flames, just waiting for morning. But that image misses what fire actually did. Fire did not just heat the body, it changed the shape of the night. Before fire, darkness shut the day down. Once the sun went away, so did most of what you could do. But the moment humans learned to carry light into the dark, the day got longer. Suddenly there were extra hours, not for hunting or traveling, but for everything else. Everything slower, everything social, everything that needed hands, memory, patience, and another person listening. And that matters because for most of human history, daylight was expensive. During the day, you had jobs that could not wait. Tracking animals, gathering roots, carrying water, watching children, moving camp, repairing shelter, avoiding predators. But once the work was over and the group pulled in close around a fire, the rules changed. That was the first protected time humans ever really had. Not safe exactly, but safer. Not easy, but easier. The flames pushed back the dark, pushed back some of the cold, and gave people a few precious hours where survival wasn't sprinting. It was thinking. The first thing they probably did was guard the fire itself, because for a huge part of prehistory, losing fire may have been a disaster. It's one thing to keep flames alive. It's another thing to create them from nothing whenever you want. There were long stretches of human history when groups likely depended on preserving embers rather than casually relighting a new blaze whenever the old one died. So someone had to watch it, feed it carefully, shift the wood, protect it from wind and rain. A fire was not furniture. It was a living tool, and one person's entire evening may have been spent making sure it survived until morning. Then came food. Cooking around a fire changed human life so deeply that it is hard to overstate. Heat softens roots, breaks down meat, kills parasites, makes calories easier to absorb. It turns things that are barely edible into things worth eating. Somewhere hundreds of thousands of years ago, humans were not just warming themselves by the flames. They were laying food near the coals, turning dinner into something safer, softer, and more nutritious than anything a raw world had ever offered. A campfire was the original kitchen, and the kitchen did more than feed the stomach. It changed the body, the schedule, and probably even the size of the human brain. But eating was only the beginning. Once the meal was done and the bones were cracked and the last scraps were shared, hands stayed busy. This is one of the clearest patterns in archaeology. Hearths and living spaces are packed with the debris of making things. Tiny stone flakes, broken points, bone fragments shaped into tools, awls, scrapers, blades. You do not make those while sprinting after prey. You make them sitting down, focused, repeating the same careful movements while sparks rise into the dark. Around the fire, people repaired the day and prepared for the next one. They sharpened spear points, retouched blades, scraped hides, twisted plant fibers, mended clothing, and turned raw material into survival. And that work was not random. It was instruction. Around a campfire, children could watch adults do difficult things up close. They could see exactly how a hand held the stone, exactly how much pressure shaped a point, exactly how sinew was pulled through hide, exactly when meat was done, exactly how much wood kept a steady flame. Firelight made demonstration possible. You did not need a classroom. You needed a circle. One generation sat there with knowledge in its hands, and the next generation copied it before the embers died. That may be one of the biggest things ancient humans spent those long hours doing. Teaching without calling it teaching. Passing on survival in the form of ordinary evening behavior. How to identify tracks. Which berries make you sick. Where the river floods after heavy rain. Which wood burns hot and which one smokes too much. How to listen for hyenas. How to tell if winter is coming early. Most of the knowledge that kept ancient humans alive never existed in books or carvings or maps. It lived in memory, and memory moved best through repetition, demonstration, and conversation. The campfire was the machine that kept that knowledge moving. And then, once the practical talk slowed down, something else happened. The stories began. This may be the most important shift fire ever created. In daylight, humans talk about immediate problems: who took what, where the herd moved, who is going out tomorrow, who needs help. But in firelight, conversation changes. It gets bigger, slower, stranger. People start talking about absent people, distant places, old hunts, dead relatives, dangerous spirits, impossible animals, the time someone almost drowned, the reason the stars move, the lesson hidden inside a mistake. Fire gave humans a stage, and in that stage light, memory stopped being just information. It became narrative. That matters because a story is more than entertainment. A story is survival information that people actually remember. Don't go near that river in spring is easy to forget. But the story about the man who ignored the river, heard the ice crack, and vanished beneath it, that stays with you. A list fades. A story sticks. Around a campfire, ancient humans were not just amusing each other. They were packaging danger, wisdom, identity, and group values into forms the mind could carry for life. And stories did something even bigger than that. They bonded people who were not always easy to live with. Imagine 30 human beings sharing a small patch of warmth in a dangerous world. They are tired, hungry, irritated, competitive. They have children crying, elders slowing down, injuries, jealousy, fear. A group like that can split apart fast if nothing holds it together. But laughter helps, shared memory helps, singing helps, retelling the same story everyone knows and waiting for the same moment everyone loves helps. Firelight softened the edges of group life. It created intimacy. It gave people a reason to stay emotionally connected, not just physically close. There is a real chance that some of the first music lived there too. Rhythm does not need an instrument. Hands can clap, feet can stomp, sticks can knock together, a voice can rise and fall with the flames. Once a group had extra hours, a little safety, and a reason to stay awake, sound almost certainly filled the dark. Not because music was a luxury, but because rhythm unites bodies and emotions. It turns a group of individuals into one moving thing. Around a campfire, humans may have sung fear down and confidence up. They also planned. That part gets overlooked. A campfire was not only for remembering the past, it was for rehearsing the future. Tomorrow's hunt, tomorrow's route, tomorrow's risk. If the river is high, go east. If the herd has moved, circle wide. If that group from the ridge returns, offer meat first. Firelight let people think together. It turned separate brains into one decision-making system. And that may be the real superpower of our species. Not raw strength, not speed, shared imagination. So what did ancient humans do for those long hours around a campfire? They protected the one thing keeping the night from taking them. They cooked. They repaired tools. They sewed. They taught. They watched children learn by imitation. They traded information too important to forget. They turned fear into stories and stories into memory. They sang. They laughed. They planned for the next day. They built trust. They built culture. They built the invisible web that let one small, fragile species survive in places it had no business surviving. A campfire was never just a fire. It was the first living room, the first kitchen, the first workshop, the first classroom, the first theater, and maybe the first place human beings ever felt like more than separate animals standing near the same heat. It took darkness, which should have ended the day, and turned it into the most human part of the day. And if you really want the full answer, ancient humans spent those long hours around a campfire doing the same thing your species has been trying to do ever since. They were making meaning out of survival. They were taking a hard world and for a few glowing hours each night, turning it into a human one.